Paper Mask, Chapter 40, The Things You Get Used to. Breakfast time came, and Allan was working in the kitchen, and he saw Leon enter the kitchen first, and he was soon followed by Helmer. And Allan noticed his father walking oddly, and his suspicions were confirmed when he saw his father sitting on a pillow. Dad, you're my hero, said Allan, laughing. And Helmer rested his head on the table and he pouted. My tushy hurts. Leon laughed heartily. Dad, Marina and I decided to get real jobs, and fooling about and going to church doesn't qualify as being employed. Sofina did some asking about, and she got us work at the Trogon, and we're going to be chefs. And I'm already started learning Gregory's recipe, said Allan happily. And can you also learn to make a bit of junk food, asked Helmer in a whiny tone. And Allan soon entered the kitchen, and he saw the little Arch Magus sitting on a cushion with a sad expression on his face. And Allan asked, what's up with him? I casted a lost spell on Leon, but it backfired. It backfired big time, whined Helmer. Leon blushed and started giggling, and Alex said before his brother who was still giggling, and he asked, Leon, you didn't. Why? I woke up in a good mood, and Helmer happened to be nearby, and he chose to selflessly sacrifice himself for my cause, said Leon, mere melodramatic. Alec laughed heartily, and Leon started to laugh as well, but his laughter soon turned into tears of anguish. And Alec jumped out of the chair, and he went to comfort his brother. And Helmer tried to pet Leon, but Alec's eyes turned red as a warning. And since Helmer was not coming closer, Leon stretched his hand to draw the little Arch Magus near. I'm sorry, it is just a seeing that cute pillow. It just made me want to cry, said Leon, still sobbing. And sweet dream warned me that this could happen. And I spent some time asleep like sunshine, and I wasn't on missions. I was frozen solid. And my dad said that I fell into a sleeping spell after I experienced a traumatic event. He never elaborated and never asked. I don't remember much before my sleeping spell, but then Sylvia yelled, my pillow, and then it all started rushing back to me. First the good memories, but lately the bad ones are returning. And I couldn't stay in the palace anymore, and I got rid of everything that triggered a bad memory. And Alex's face darkened when he remembered last night's incident, and nobody in the palace ever spoke of Leah's grandfather, and the mere mention of it intended to send shivers down the spines of all of the oldest servants in the castle. And there were no portraits of him, and in the history books it simply listed the length of his reign, but none of his deeds were mentioned. What's everyone crying about? Oh, Liam. And Marina went to hug Leon, and she recited the family mantra, don't be afraid, we're here for you, you're not alone. And Leon took a deep breath, and then he exhaled a calm wind, and Alex served Leon first, and he made for him a dulce de leche pancakes with whipped cream. And after taking a few bites, Leon cheered up a bit, and even his breath lost its chill factor. And Sunshine was awakened by the smell of food. And he sat down to wait for his meal, and he saw everyone clustered around Liam, and he asked, is there anything wrong? Does anything hurt, Liam? Just my back, said Liam as he ate his pancakes. Did Dad already break you in? Teased Allan. No, he hasn't broken anything. This pain is from before, said Liam. From before how long? A day, a month, a year? Asked Sunshine, asking for specific. It started a few months ago. At first it was a slight discomfort, but then it got worse, said Liam, patting his back. It is more painful if I lie on my back, though. It was but I thought it was a side effect of my recent. It is more painful if I lie on my back, and I think it might be a side effect of my recent operation. What type of operation? Asked Alec, alarmed. Nothing serious, just a corrective surgery that I require every decade or so. Satan used to remove these strange growths that appear on my back. I don't remember if I had them back when I was small. And I asked Mother about them, but all she said was that she was against my corrective surgeries. And I asked her why, but she isn't a doctor, so she feels that she doesn't have the right to give an opinion on the matter, said Leon, lowering his gaze. And last year, a new guy operated on me, one of Cedric's apprentices, and I do not want to accuse anyone, but maybe he wasn't as well trained as Cedric might have hoped. I suppose there is a possibility that he botched your operation, but no matter. I will fix whatever he broke. From the scale of 1 to 10, how much does it hurt right now? Asked Sunshine, tapping the desk with his index finger. Like 1,000, but you get used to it, said Liam, continuing to eat his pancakes. You better come with me. You better come with me to the clinic, and please stop eating. If you require an operation, you will need to empty your stomach content, insisted Sunshine. Sure thing. I trust you because you're Cedric's daughter, and she spoke a lot about you while I was asleep, even more so about you when I awoke, said Liam, lowering his fork. Did she now? Asked Sunshine, narrowing his eyes. She kept saying how you were an ungrateful and misbehaving daughter who didn't understand anything about the real world, recited Liam. And there was more, but after a while I started to tune her out. I do not like to listen to people complain. It gets old really quickly, and even Father would tune her out when she would go on one of her rants about world peace. And after my checkup, I want to spend time with Gregory and maybe visit the ocean. After breakfast, Sunshine took Liam to the clinic, and Allan went with Liam as well, and he started pacing the lobby when he heard his brother emptying his stomach contents, and Liam was going to get an operation immediately. And while waiting in the lobby, Alex saw Mincy manifested while carrying her little leashy, and she handed a piece of paper to Alex. And Alex read the paper and he said, I am expecting your child. Allan, laughing, said, do you know how many times women have tried to use the same trick on me? Allan turned the paper around and he read, it was worth a try. If you're going to use a trick, wait a few weeks before dropping the bombshell and try to gain a bit of weight too. And one of my past lovers bankers of a rich guy by pretending to be pregnant. And Alec added, and why do you want to marry me? And Mincy handed Alec her fat baby, and the baby chirped happily before coiling himself into Alec. And since the baby liked him, Mincy liked Alec. Alec said sadly, it must be hard being a single mother. And don't you kind help each other out? Do you? Asked Mincy. I guess we also don't help out much either. And everyone's out to help themselves, and that is just the way this world works, said Alex, sighing melancholy. And he added, I don't have money, but I can provide for you an extra pair of eyes should you need them. And I also have money. I work, I have money, I have eyes, chirped Mincy. And she paused a bit before saying, I need you to say nice things to Lychee. Is that all? Asked Alex. That is all I need from you, said Mincy. Alex complimented Lychee for a little longer until the larva fell asleep, and close to dusk Alex started to worry, and Mincy left and she came back with water and a sandwich, and Alex saw the sandwich and he said, I'm not really that hungry. And Mincy, instead of offering him food, she started to eat it by herself, and when she was full, she offered the leftovers to Alex. And Alex said, you can pass your walls and make yourself invisible. Mincy nodded in response. Go see how Liam is doing, said Alex. Mincy chirped, and since she didn't move, Alex said, I don't understand what you said. Mama, said Mincy, pointing to a corner in the room. I don't have mana for you. What else will you take? Said Alex, frustrated. Or do you need me to get your mana to cast your spells? A beautiful maiden appeared before Alec and Mincy, and she had beautiful large wings and mouse antenna, and her eyes were large like those of a moth, and she handed Alec a bag. Here, mana crystals. You can leash the power from mages by being near them while holding them. And Mincy can cast, but she doesn't have her own mana pool, and without Helmer nearby, she's completely useless as a magic user. Mama, chirped Mincy sadly. I understand. I will get mana for Mincy from now on, said Alec, putting the crystals away. And with this promise made, the maiden threw a large bag at Alec before departing. Alec picked up the bag and he looked within, and it had a lot of precious gems. Alec said to Mincy, your mother's a bit of an asshole. Mincy chirped sadly again before saying, Mama. Let me guess, she casted you out because of the halfling brat, guessed Alec. Mrs. chirped sadly, and she got up and went to see about Liam, and she handed Alec a piece of paper that read, Liam is in the recovery room. Sunshine operated on him. The chart says that his wings were regrowing in the wrong direction, and they were pushing into his spine, causing him extreme pain. And this problem often happens in dragons who repeatedly had their wings amputated. Is that so? Said Alec thoughtfully. And he took a deep breath, and then he exhaled, and as he exhaled, the entire waiting room got a little colder. Allan left the waiting room, followed by Mincy, and he returned to Allan's home. Gregory and Caron were visiting with the kids to swim in the ocean, and Peter was there with Miss Lady and the new baby. And he was hoping to speak to Liam about Gregory. And Allan said to those assembled, I am going to run an errand with Mincy. Here, Helmer, look after Lishi. Where is Liam? Insisted Peter. He wasn't feeling well. He's in the clinic, explained Alec. This is your doing, snapped Peter, shaking his fist at Helmer, who was still sitting on a pillow. No, his last doctor, Cedric's apprentice, botched Liam's corrective surgery. And Sunshine is currently fixing whatever the butcher broke, explained Alec. What surgery? Is Liam sick? Asked Peter, alarmed, and the color had completely left his face. When Liam was a child, he got stolen, said Alec. We know that story, said Gregory. He was stolen because he was a prince. No, I'm starting to think that he was stolen because he had wings, and to protect him from kidnappers, somebody has been plugging his wings whenever they manifest. At least this is what Liam thinks is going on. I don't know. I only know what he told Sunshine, and I do not know the truth of the medical reason for these corrective surgeries. And I'm going to counsel Mildred to find out, explained Alec coldly. And his eyes had changed to icy blue. When Sunshine finally lets you see him, be nice and keep your bickering to a bare minimum. And I'm not just talking to you, Peter. I expect you to behave as well, Gregory. And here's a bunch of jewels. Spend it as you see fit. Alec handed the gems to a sobbing Gregory, and as for Peter, he was frozen on the spot. And Julian only realized that Peter was suffering when he touched his hand, and his stepfather was trembling from head to toe. Mincy reappeared carrying her worn blade, and she took Alec's hand, and together they returned to the castle in the kingdom of Mildred. And Alec found Princess Sylvia sitting on the throne wearing the bent king's crown. And she saw Alec's blue eyes, and she sighed, and a cold breath escaped her lips. Mother's in the Tower of Gregory. She's the one you want, said Sylvia. And on Sylvia's back she had two pairs of strange-looking wings, and that resembled dried tree branches. Oh, Dad, I always had them. And I kept them hidden with magic, and Mother told me always to hide them. I am not like Gregory, and my wings are always on the outside. And Uncle Liam can't use magic, so they always remove his wings when they started to grow. You knew, asked Alec, shocked. I did not know, but I suspected. And every couple of years my uncle would complain of back pain, and since I have wings, I assumed somebody must be having his removed. And while the Court of Botany is built on deception, our court thrives in secrets, and everyone here has something that they should be ashamed of. And the smart ones leave before their hands are tainted with blood, and I plan to leave as well once I finish taking care of some problems, said Princess Sylvia coldly. That is easier said than done, Princess Sylvia, and the throne is a greedy mistress, and once she sinks her claws into your flesh, you will fall into a prison that you won't be able to break free. You sound just like Mother, mused Sylvia, twirling a strand of her short silver hair in her hand. As Alec approached, Gregory saw better. He heard a sobbing coming from his side, and as soon as he stepped on a creak on the floorboard, the crying stopped. And Alec opened the door, and he found Astorga sitting by the window with a serene smile on her face. And she handed Alec a notebook with Cedric's handwriting, and Alec read the notebook with instructions on how to properly care for Liam. Astorga said, the thing about doctors is that they hold as much authority as kings. Sick people, we blindly believe that they want what is best for us. And before Sunshine appeared, we did not question Cedric. She came to us disguised as a kindly old woman, and she held us children, and she is suffering over Dragon King Julian. and he awoke Liam. When was the last time you trimmed Liam's wings? Asked Allan. A year ago, and one of her successors takes care of that problem, and he did an okay job so far. And there have been no complaints these past 14 years, and according to Cedric, the wings had to be removed, otherwise Liam would fall into a coma and eventually he would die. And Liam's mama was always skeptical, but Cedric had the final word on all medical matters, said Astorga sighing. Sister Rosa did always look like she wanted to murder Cedric, commented Allan. I beat her to the punch, said Astorga, laughing nervously. And that poor doctor, she wanted me to train Sylvia's wings, and she was quite adamant about it. And when she went to operate on my daughter without my permission, I killed her. I didn't mean to. Her knife tried to hurt me, and I defended myself. And I may be a halfling, but I'm tougher than I look. And 16 years have passed, and Sylvia has now fallen into a coma. I am starting to think the old crone was lying. Vabbè, sì, no, lasciate, venga,